Hello there, and welcome to the first episode of my quick tutorial series for Against the Storm. This is going to be a series of very quick episodes where I explain specific parts of the game and show you how to win the game. By the end of the series, I really hope that you have everything you need to manage your cities, reforge seals, and get ready for the prestige difficulty layers. I have here a completely blank account. I have just skipped myself through the tutorial, nothing is unlocked, and in episode 1 we're going to go over a basic setup that you can use in each and every colony that you build, and it'll work out a charm, promise. So, first on up, you need to select where you want to play. I expect that you have played the tutorials and you know how to control the game, because this is not part of this video series, it's a quick tutorial series and we are focusing on the gameplay and decision part mostly. Now, the first map that I will fully recommend you to play is the Royal Woodlands, because it is the map where you will have the easiest time to get your foot into the game. We're playing it here right next to a special feature. These world map modifiers will be sitting around on the map everywhere. Just be sure that you don't pick one that makes the game harder early on. I wouldn't recommend. Playing through these maps will give you certain rewards which will allow us to buy permanent upgrades in the city. More about that in a later episode. I just want to give it already as a hint ahead. There's plenty of other biomes that you can play, but all of them are to a certain degree harder than the Royal Woodlands. I personally think this is the easiest biome. So, left click there, get on in there, and we get to select now which colonists we want to pick. As a rule of thumb, if the game offers you beaver people, pick up beaver people. They make things so much easier at the beginning of the game because they are adept at working with wood, and this is a huge advantage. So we're picking up the upper package here, gets extra people, but in this scenario both would be nice. We're also picking up the embarkation bonuses. Whatever you pick, I personally recommend picking up some extra fuel, is always worth it. Okay. When it comes down to the difficulty, we're setting up ourselves on a pioneer difficulty because all the difficulties up there would be more difficult. If you want to start out small, of course, play settler. But for the sake of this tutorial, between settler and pioneer, there's only the difference that the villagers will consume less food, and here we need a few more points to win the game. But beyond that, these are exactly the same. I just want a smidge of a challenge here during this tutorial. If you're new, I would recommend Settler in all honesty. Now, that all being said, let's embark. So, what we're seeing now is the standard opening screen that we will have always. First up, we get the forest mysteries explained. Every map has a set of different influences, positive and negative ones. Later we will have only one positive and several negative ones. These here will be influencing you whenever the storm season comes, the name giving against the storm. I will go over these in the next episode when we are also going to explore the storm season. For today, it ain't that important. It's just important that you read them and get acquainted with what they do, but more about that in a later episode. So, here we have our standard setup. We have a hearth and we have a warehouse. You will always start with these. The hearth will consume fuel to get yourself warmth. In this game, once this hearth goes out, your people will go crazy and you lose the game instantaneously. So it is absolutely important that we have fuel, always. So producing wood is a absolute mandatory and top-notch priority. The very first thing that I always do during each and every run is disable coal as a standard fuel, simply because coal has a lot of different other uses besides being fired up in the hearth. The wood is more than enough. You could even go as far as this. I personally recommend to go into the options down here in the gameplay section. You are able to go here in the hearth fuel section, and with this setup you will never have to do this manually ever again. Okay, so your starting blade will always have a couple of resources here. So when you press Alt, you see the people assigned to buildings, and when you hold down B, you see an icon of the stuff lying around there. There will be always two different resources, and when we zoom on out, we see that we have different glades around us where we can expand into. The things that you build in the very beginning of the game are always more or less the same. First up, we need woodcutter camps. I personally recommend always to build at least 2 of them. So we direct the opening of the building, you see the white arrow, towards where we want to harvest wood. Feel free to build 2 of these. Unpause the game after. We can now prioritize these guys if we want to. Priority 1. And if you hold down shift while clicking, you do this for all buildings of the same type. By the way, works with all these options. So for now, we only want to avoid glades except for the marked ones. So I hold down shift, so this setup is now on both of these buildings. Alright, we have our woodcutters camps up. These are absolutely important, and therefore we're going to put our beaver people in there. You can left click these folks and set them in there. Or you just put them there. Okay. These guys now will start chopping within the green area, but due to the setup here, they won't be opening up glades for us. Very, very good. So when we look up over here now, we see that we have population and people that are homeless. Homelessness is bad. Very, very bad. The hammer icon, by the way, shows you how many people are free as builders. And we have just a moment ago assigned the majority of our beaver people as woodcutters. So, what we need next are homes for those people, because homelessness is a very, very easy to fix condition, and you get bonus points for happiness for your people, so to speak. Every of these shelters can house 3 people. Currently, we have a grand total of 9 people, so I built one too many. Just deactivate that. Press V and delete that. There we go. Okay, so the woodcutter camps, by the way, can be always moved around for free. They have wheels, and therefore you don't need to worry too much about where placing them down. If you want to power play a little bit around, select them, press M to move them, and put them into the direct vicinity of your big warehouse, or whichever glade you want to open up first. But more about that in a different part of the tutorial. So, we're building now the shelters. I'm giving them a high priority. And now I'm going here and setting up some paths. Paths don't cost you any resources. They only cost you workforce, and therefore they are highly desirable. Shelters, by the way, can be placed anywhere as long as they are in the radius of your hearth. This is something that you really should know, because the people don't go into their homes to sleep or anything. They take a break after a fixed time, and then they will go for that break to the next best warehouse, get themselves something to eat, and then get to the hearth and make a break there. They will not go to their homes for that. So these homes can be placed anywhere, and as you see here now, the homelessness icons are disappearing. So next up, we want gathering camps for the resources that we have present here. You can just click a node there, and then you can just select the gathering camp in question. Here again, directing the entrance towards the resource camp. Here again, doing both of them. And these, unlike the previous homes here, have not only wood as a cost, but also parts. As you see here, the woodcutter camps already did only cost parts, but these guys here cost wood and parts. Parts are sort of an exclusive resource. They are a sophisticated ingredient of buildings, limiting your harvesting capabilities in general. Parts can only be acquired as quest rewards. You cannot really craft them yourselves. You can buy them from traders, but you're not able to have as many as you want from them. Luckily, when we start dismantling one of these things, we get the parts back. So if I would be now destroying the woodcutter's camp, I would salvage back the ingredients that I put in. This is something that is worth knowing, so you never need to worry about the resources you have invested. They'll be always well spent, so to speak. Okay, so our resource camps are almost set up. Let's speed up the time a wee bit until this is done. So, by the way, if you are pressing shift when mouse hovering over a certain thing, you can basically pick it up and copy it, so to speak. Alright, so now we have a resource gathering camps, homes, woodcutting. What we are missing now is crude workstation and makeshift post. The crude workstation is going to process your resources into something better, and the makeshift post is going to process your goods into trade packages. These are mostly used as quest ingredients, so to speak, and yeah, these buildings are basically the makeshift variants of your workshops that you will use later. Because this game uses a drafting system which gives you the specialized workshops only for one run, and you need to select which. But more about that in a different video. So we're now almost there. There's one more thing that is standard for all my runs, but in the current situation, we haven't unlocked it yet, but I want to describe it. So, in the upgrade section, you can eventually unlock that your hearth can be upgraded to a neighborhood. This makes your people happier and is generally increasing the work speed of your people. All you need to do for that is now to put 4 decorations on top of the on top of what we got here. So this would be, for example, 4 benches like these. In this run though, since we're completely starting out new, we're not achieving anything with these. But as soon as you have unlocked the upgrade for the neighborhood, you should totally do that. Here I do this for the sake of demonstration, so you see what I'm talking about. But currently we have not unlocked that. Unlock it as fast as possible, because this is one of the easiest ways to get yourself an advantage. And this is now the basic setup that you can use to get yourself started in each and every game. You have housing, you have production of general goods, and now you are ready to expand your colony. Oh. Yeah, you see here we didn't get the upgrade, we just got the visual upgrade. Anyways. No, it did apply. Interesting. Yeah, there you have me. Tutorial maker spotted, not knowing the mechanics well enough. Jokes aside, this is the setup which makes your lads a little bit happier, and now the next step would be to decide where we want to open up glades next, which stuff we want to draft, which quests we want to pick up, and this is all things for the next up videos. So, thanks for watching so far. I hope you like this format. I will continue with 10 to 15 minute videos like these. Drop me your comments down below, leave me a like, leave me a subscribe, and in the description box below there is a playlist link to the entirety of this quick tutorial series. Feel free to support the channel financially. Many thanks for all of you who do, and a lot of thanks for watching this video. I hope you had a good time, and see you on the next one. Bye bye!